Mm-hmm. Okay, I say that.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Okay, I hate that countdown thing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Author's Quill. I hope everyone's having a great Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Saturday night, wherever you are on a big, beautiful blue planet. Last I checked, we were about 147 countries on this show today and every time zone on the planet. So welcome. We have John Goodwin with us. John Goodwin with us tonight. Man, I am tongue-tied. I think I got 4 hours after this show. Oh, this is not going to be good. John's getting ready for the big event. He always looks so good this time of year. He's getting all thinned out, ready to go. He's going to be wearing his tux pretty soon. He's going to be all sharp looking on the stage. We all should watch him present. He does a really good job at it. And, they have to do a little bit more than what the winners have to do. Let's be honest. The winners get up and talk and say their thing, and they can go on their little happy business. But, John and Emily and the rest of the gang have to get up there and actually say something like they know what they're doing. That makes a difference. I always enjoy the gala. It's a lot of fun. It's everybody is so very professional, and even the winners, you can tell, are having a lot of fun while they're there. We also have HeatherAnne Lee with us, who somebody told me she's an illustrator winner. So HeatherAnne, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. My dog just walked in, so I do apologize if he's
we're a pet-friendly show. The whole network is pet-friendly, to be totally honest with you. You may see later on you may see some black spot move on my shirt later. That's my black Chihuahua who thinks she thinks she's famous.
So HeatherAnne goes to the Savannah College of Art and Design. So there's 3 of you from SCAD this year, HeatherAnne, or just the 2?
I think there's 3 of us.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's me, Jordan, and then I think there's a grad student that I haven't met before.
Yeah, because I saw it in the bio. I said, wow, another from, because I knew you and Jordan, and because I got connected with you right away when it first came up, and because you've both gotten some good media down there in Atlanta or in the near where you are there, so Savannah. And I'm looking forward to, now what year are you?
I'm a senior, so I'll be graduating here in end of May.
Okay, so, and where's home for you?
Home for me, home has hopped around. Right now, I would consider Savannah home.
So then we're going, because I'm going to be there in Atlanta for the Dragon Con. And so
yeah,
I was hoping to meet you and Jordan there as well, and then set up some media while we're there, because Savannah is not that far from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we can get some stuff in like that. So if you're still going to be there, I think Jordan said she's still going to be there because she's another semester behind you or something, or?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. But anyway, hopefully we'll see what we see when it happens. But we also have a thing because of we have such good relationships, like with Dragon Con. All the winners from the previous year get pro badges and can come in and we do autographings. You can participate in panels and stuff like that at the Dragon Con, which is a pretty cool thing. That's one of the most reputable conventions in the U.S. So anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was hoping to make my way over there just anyways, but that sounds great.
It's nice if you get to go in there with a pro badge.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of places you can't otherwise get, and it's no charge in for that badge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anyway, you can't see it, but this is the book you're going to be publishing in a few short weeks. This is Rise to Future Volume 41, and your art is awesome. I just fanned it for everybody to see, and if they could see it in that microsecond, then more power to them.
We've had our life threatened about showing any art.
Yeah,
we're not going to say who it was.
We're pulling the art reveal up, so it's going to be on Sunday. So just after the illustrator workshop starts, after they will have been started for an hour or two, then we're going to then make a longer lunch, and we're going to have the art reveal at the beginning, so that we don't have. Because what we do is we have this book, but then we tape it up. And we have to make it so that nobody sees it until the art reveal, which is a day or two later. So now at the very beginning, we're going to have the art reveal. So we're no longer having to withhold the art from the writer winners. And then the illustrators and writers can get to know each other sooner. Anyway, so that's a change this year, but I think it's going to be a big difference. And we're also doing the whole workshop at our offices this year. We haven't done that for quite some time. So we're excited about that too.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting. I can't wait to see everyone's work.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I'm sure you've heard about the art reveal. Joe's been there 4 or 5 times.
I love the art. Yeah, it's always great to watch. It's always great to watch. It's always great to film. It's just wonderful to watch people, how they connect, how they find their artwork. It's always fun to watch the authors hunt down the illustrator, for lack of a better way of saying it. There's a lot of tears, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughs, a lot of tears.
Yeah,
it's a great event to watch. It is. I know it gets a lot of attention when we rebroadcast it later on. It does really well. So it's HeatherAnne Lee's Art Station. Is that what your site is?
I think that's an old link. It still works. But heatherlee.art is both my links to my portfolio and my Instagram.
Oh, okay. Well, that works. Yeah, because I had this one right here. This one came up a minute ago. And we'll pop it out like that. We'll get the other one. Well, I love the way you can add things in these days and all this. It makes life so easy when we're doing TV. Well, I mean, tonight we're on Roku television. We're also on Fire Stick television. So along with, YouTube and a couple of Rumble pages and some TikTok pages and a few other things besides that. Oh, I'm sorry, people. X, don't hang me, okay? Just don't. I got in trouble last night because I said Gulf of Mexico instead of Gulf of America. Lord have mercy. And the bad places, I live on the damn thing. I still said it wrong. Anyway, enough about that. So
just put in the chat too. I just put in, I don't know how you can get it there, Joe. That's the link to be able to pre-order volume 41 from wherever you buy your books. So are you able to take that and move it to where it's?
No, we can do this right here if I can find out where I was. That's what happens. Sometimes I get too many web pages open at one time. Too much stuff to share with the world. Okay, where was I? Just seen it. That was it right there. So boom. So this is the actual home site, and you can't see it right now. It was on my pad behind me there a few minutes ago. I guess it turned itself off now. Guys and girls, it'll be in the chat. So once it goes into the chat like this, it goes out to all the regular pages, which is 10 of those. And then you can see it on Roku and on Fire Stick, so you can pull it off of there as well. But it stays
a link in the private chat too. So can they click on this thing, or where do they see the link?
Put it in the regular comments. That way it goes out to all this. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me do it this way. This will be easier. Let me do it like this. Jeffrey, I'm going to ask for that in just a minute. If you give me a second, let me put this in here like that. Boom. All right, so it's going to see now it just popped out to all the different feed pages and stuff. And then whatever else is feeding off of those pages. That's what's so weird today when we do radio and TV. It's not like the old days. It used to be, you had one little page and it went out to one little page. So SoundCloud alone goes out to 16 different pages. The way this is set up, the 8 we have here, the way they're set up, I think they go out to about 46 different pages or 44 different pages. It's crazy. So when you put it on one page, it goes out to everybody, which is really nice. It's way better in the old days when you'd have to sit and type your little brains out for an hour and a half. So anyway, HeatherAnne, let me ask you, first off, how did you get into art? Well, what made you feel like you could be an illustrator or an artist?
Well, genuinely, as soon as I could like pick up a crayon, I have a story I like.
You weren't one of them kids crayon up the house, right? Were you like?
No, I was good. I was always on paper and coloring books. But a story I like to tell is I still have one of my old like notebooks in second grade where they have you like practice writing. And on the first page of that, they had asked, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I had wrote down on that page, and it's all that's on that page, is I want to be an artist. So since second grade, my mind was made up of what direction I wanted to go. And then it's just been how to get there.
Shit, girl. I'm 60 and I can't figure out what I want to do. You're doing good, man. That's how I can say. So you have any favorite mediums you like? Any favorite like canvas or electronics or let me get in the computer.
Currently I just work digital. I do try and get into painting every now and again, but as time allows with SCAD work, a lot of it's very fast paced to get things done. And the digital format is the best way to do that. So that's what I'm most of my work is done in. I think you might be muted.
It double muted. What the hell caused that? Oh, I must have hit something. Oh, I pulled the mic piece. That's what happened. All right. I was trying to figure out why. I could see why it muted on one, but it muted on the mic and on the page. That was kind of weird. It was definitely weird. But, I can see why digital would be faster. I mean, it's just, I use it myself for editing a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And it's because I can't, John and I laugh about this all the time, but we can't even draw a stick man. So, I've been kidding everybody, but we need to have a stick man drawing contest at this place because it's not going to be who wrote that. It's not going to be for the best one. It's going to be for the worst one because none of us can draw a stick. Mine's going to probably be like sideways.
I'll win that one. I'm just curious, HeatherAnne. So the people that are going to be at the workshop this year, we've got obviously Echo and Lazarus will be there, but we also have Tom Wood. He's like the top selling poster artist in the United States. And then there's Brittany Jackson, B. Jackson. She was a grand prize winner in volume 24. And she's the one that did are you familiar with her and her work?
The name sounds familiar. I would have to see her work.
Yeah, she did the Parker Looks Up, that book with Michelle Obama, that art book that was done, picture book. And then she also did a book for LeBron James. She's got like 3 different New York Times bestsellers where she illustrated them. So she was one of those really good success stories from the contest when she won. She was from the projects in Detroit, and now she's one of the top selling artists there working with the big publishing houses. And then Craig Elliott, he's the art director for like Disney and Netflix and several of the major studios. And most of your illustrations, the designs for the for these movies from Disney, he was the art director for those. And then we'll also have then on hands Brian Hales. He's done several books. He's both written and illustrated all of his books. He does a lot of covers. And then there's another guy that's just crazy good, Rob Pryor. He paints with both hands and eyes closed. He'll do paint. Sometimes he'll do paintings at concerts. These huge concerts with rappers and stuff. He'll be there on stage painting. He'll do 2 paintings at the same time. He was also doing some painting in space and stuff like that. So he's an amazing guy. And then we'll also have zooming in will be we got Bob Eggleton. He's won like I think a dozen Hugos, and then there's also Dan Dos Santos will be zooming in, and Larry Elmore will be zooming in. He's the guy that did Dungeons and Dragons, and he's just an amazing guy. So we have a lot of guys, and we also got him Cirello from zooming in from Spain. So that's and then the thing that usually, I mean, because you're gonna have there's a whole section, a whole day session that you're going to be going to Rob Pryor's studio, but then you're also going to be doing live model sketching at the workshop as well. Echo runs that, so you'll be doing some live models, and then there's the portfolio reviews, which usually knocks up as the one of the best things for the illustrators is like, how do you create a good portfolio? How do you do one? How do you create different portfolios? And then just getting the critiques from these amazing best-selling and respected artists, you'll get that as well. So that's one of the things that just really, is a big thing. So anything in particular that you're most looking forward to?
So much. I am so excited to meet just everyone and form those connections, and even just the other winners. That's Percy. Even just the portfolio reviews, really everything. I just can't wait.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. So so now when you sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, go.
Okay, so you illustrated Code L1, right? Yeah. And so, I mean, it was an awesome illustration. And I've got one last story. I'm doing the final quality control on the audiobook right now. There's one last story I've got to finish. But I mean, that's an amazing story. So how did you go through the process of deciding what you're going to illustrate from that story?
Yeah, so while reading the story, I was taking notes. I went through and I was highlighting the different scenes, and I had a different highlighter color for the setting, for the characters, for important story beats. So I went through and I highlighted everything that would be relevant. And from there, I kind of narrowed down on what was my final design. And I also did some creature design sketches. So delving into what makes up the characters in that story, and doing some various anatomy sketches of different real life animals and creatures, and how I can incorporate that into creating a more abstract mythological creature. So it was a lot of just research, and then conveniently the story takes place in a kind of tropical setting, and right before I had started working on it, I went with my sister to the botanical gardens in Atlanta. And so I got a whole bunch of reference pictures from their greenhouses, and compiling those with some of the pictures I had from various trips or just walking around Savannah.
Yeah.
And use that as the foundation for forming my illustration.
I get it. No, it's great, and it's I'm always curious. Had you been art directed before on creating an illustration for a story?
I had not. This was my first experience with an art director.
How'd that go for you?
It was great. I got some good feedback and good direction. And hopefully we'll have more experience like this in the future.
No, you definitely more stuff for the workshop. But so you're given the story, you read it, and then you submitted 3 concepts?
Yep, I had a few. I think I did 5 or so complete concept sketches, but even before I submitted those, I was sketching ideas on the plane, and just doing rough thumbnails. And then I settled on some like 5 concept sketches to present to the art director, and to move forward with the best idea.
Well, that's good. And then how did you narrow down to the final one?
There was definitely one composition that there's always that one I feel that I'm like, this is the direction I see going. And I think Echo agreed with me there. So we ended up going with that one, tweaking some things for the final composition. But yeah.
Oh, good. No, it's just I like getting the stories about what it's like working with an art director, and was it a good experience? Was it something like it was really stressful, or no, it came out good? Because it's you're moving from the rank and file of amateur to actually professional, and from here you're going to get this is taking advantage, like even just taking advantage of this show that you're on right now. I mean, this is you're talking to 2.5 million people right now. So there's people are like, wow, okay, that sounds good. And Joe's pulled up, and I guess we can pull back up your page to see what your art's like, because then people are like, oh yeah, I need something like that to get either just commission work, or I want something, they want a book cover or whatever type of thing that you've got that you can offer. Do you do much commission work yet, or are you still just mostly locked and loaded on being a student?
Yeah, I take a wide range of commissions. I recently did a book cover for a self-published author that I met at a convention down in Florida. And that I think just recently got published, I think late February. So that was one of the things. I illustrate like card decks. So I have a tarot deck that I illustrated and bring to conventions. But I really do a kind of wide range of commissions. Really, if someone has a project idea, let me at it.
Yeah. That's one thing too that Echo goes over is the whole thing of, as a professional, what do you charge, and how do you, what's your rate, and how do you go about doing this, and how do you build yourself up so you don't peg yourself, okay, that person will work for anything, versus making a viable career out of your art too. So that's one of the things that they go over as part of the workshop, which is really good.
Yeah. Definitely something I could learn more on.
Is that something that they cover at SCAD, or is that?
Yes. My favorite professor, Mike Wimmer, he teaches one of the illustration business classes that's fully focused on how do you like make a living on illustration.
Yeah.
And the advice and like industry like practices that I learned from that class have been honestly more valuable than anything else from SCAD. That one quarter really just like changed my whole perspective.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we have an essay in this year's Vine with Tom Wood talking about, like Hugh, he was an artist, no matter as a kid, and there he went to a very, very small school in the Ozarks, and he was the best. And then when he finally got out to being at a school, he was like, fortunately, he maintained his humility, because when he went to these other schools, you realize he was, okay, being the best with 36 students is different than being the best with, a major university. But, he just kept on applying himself. But just how he went from being, like you said, he was going to be an artist from the very, very beginning. And his parents were supportive of him doing that, and how he worked himself up and just followed that path. When a door opened, he took that step in there and just kept on moving forward. And now he is the top selling poster artist in the United States, but he's got so much other stuff going for him too.
Yeah.
So he loves doing this workshop. He loves the contest. We met him at Dragon Con, actually, I think in 2010 or something like that. and he was at a booth next to us, and we just really became good friends. And a decade later, after just being in touch with him, and so then I finally invited him to be a judge, and so it's just the relationship has grown there. But he and Joe hit it off really well when they first met. He's a wild man.
Well, he is. He's a lot of fun. I mean, the thing about all this is when you get there, it's going to be a little crazy. It's going to be a little insane. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot to learn. I haven't yet to meet anybody who's going through all of this. That's going to happen over the next week that hasn't learned, didn't come out as a better artist or a better author than they came in. So that's a big plus. Plus, you make a lot of friends, not just with your fellow winners, but with some of these judges, which, frankly, these are big guys. These aren't like little bitty, nobodies who don't have careers, and all of them have big careers. All of them, a lot of authors have big movies behind them. Tom, I know quite well. Echo, I know quite well. Tom is an outstanding artist. I mean, I think he told me his first thing he ever did was a poster for Walmart that sold 2 million copies. I think it was either a Flaming Phoenix or something like that. I remember, I was like, you're kidding me, right? Just like, he's like, no, I'm like, you're kidding, dude. He's like, no, because he didn't think it was going to sell anything. He gave Walmart, you right off the bat. I mean, things like that really kind of turn you around. I've seen his work he's done for the NFL and the NBA. He's done a lot of stuff for a lot of different companies. But Echo's done a lot of stuff for a lot of different companies. So, I know everybody's always worried about AI, but most of these companies, I don't think want to go that direction. I think what companies are feeling right now is if you go full AI, the public might leave you behind.
Yeah.
And say, you know what, we don't want to do business with you. And that, which is a good sentiment right now. It's something that needs to be around. But I'm not against AI. I mean, I use it myself for stuff. Matter of fact, I'm in the middle of making a short film with it, but I don't like the fact that it can steal everybody's stuff. That bothers me. But more so than that, I don't want to see it replacing people. So
you better not be stealing my stick, man.
Well, you're gonna like this thing. I won't be finishing probably for too much, but you'll like this when it's done. It's pretty good. It's coming out way better than I thought it was going to come out, because you know how I type. So
anything is better than how you type.
It's what's bad is if when you use voice to text. I have this accent and the texting. I'm telling you, it comes with words. I'm like, where did it come from? But I look forward to seeing you there. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of fun. I see Martin's in the queue with us now, but you'll really enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of people milling them in. Plus, you get a lot of free press. And I'm not talking about just John. There's a lot of other press there. But between the two of us, we're going to expose you to almost 5 million people. So it's just, and since we're going to be doing several interviews with y'all, so we're doing this one. I'll probably catch up with y'all, do another short one while we're in LA. I give y'all a couple of days to get settled in. And then we do the big one a month or 2 or 3 after the event's over. So you can just come sit down for an hour or two, depending on what you can handle. And we just talk about the whole thing from start to finish. So, and we'll have your artwork up. We'll have your sites up so you can just go through what you want to talk about.
We'll have your camera on so we can see your art. Your face.
Well, by then we'll have lots of pictures of everybody then anyway. So it's and all I can tell you is don't be camera shy, because there's gonna be lots of pictures going on. Everybody there is taking pictures. But nobody does bad pictures. We all throw those away. We're all trained. Well, all of us are trained. Just goodbye bad pictures. It's because you get those pictures where your mouth's open or something, or you're scratching your ear or something, and things like that. But I see we got to drop Martin up in here. Who is this guy? I mean, y'all know this guy? Do we know this guy?
I believe so. He's
sure.
He's one of my favorite dictators that I know.
Hi, all.
Hey, Martin.
Thank you, HeatherAnne. We appreciate you stopping by, baby. Can't wait to see you.
We have the disembodied person of HeatherAnne Lee, who's a winner, an illustrator winner in volume 41, who
drew herself.
Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD.
Nice to meet you, HeatherAnne.
Nice to meet you.
I will be seeing you in about a week, because I will be there to do the blog for the illustrators and sort of help you find your way around.
Thank you. Super excited.
Yeah, Martin, you were a writer winner for volume 31.
31.
So this is a 10-year anniversary for you.
It's hard to believe.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
And I keep coming back to help because they have helped me and I have loyalty back to them.
It's very much appreciated.
Nothing wrong with that. It's always good to be paying things back or paying them up or paying them forward. Janine, what do you mean? No, you can't go. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. We get at least 5 questions every week about that. No, you can't. I'm sorry. You can if you win, or if you're an ex-winner, or again, I will say this again: if you donate John $1 million, just don't forget my 10%. I want my 10% here. Let's not forget that. So you might as well make it 1,000,001 because I want 100 G's out of this. Am I serious? If you've got $1 million, yeah, I'm serious. I'll talk to John if you got a real $1 million. Other than that, don't bother me about it. Get out there, draw something, write something, submit it, win like the rest of them have to do. Yes, I mean, get out there. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of fun. So Marge is going to be out there causing trouble. I know how he is.
Yeah. So I'm just one last thing, Heather, before we lose you.
Yeah.
So, how did you learn about the L. Ron Hubbard Illustrators of the Future contest?
Yeah, I actually learned about it at the end of high school. I graduated a year early, so I think like 16 at the time. And
you're one of those kinds of people. Okay,
y'all better watch out, guys.
And I was looking up some scholarships for going to SCAD. And it was just on one of those scholarship websites. I stumbled across it and was like, this sounds right up my alley. I love doing fantasy sci-fi. So I applied that year, didn't get anything. And then I think I applied. Percy. Hey, buddy.
That's a good baby dog.
Sorry, my corgi is getting impatient with me.
That's a good baby.
And I think I applied one other time a year or so ago and kind of forgot about it. And I got one of those like reminder emails like, hey, you should apply this quarter. So I did, and here we are.
Well, that's great. Are you familiar with L. Ron Hubbard, with any of either his art or his writings?
A little bit. Not as much as I should be, but a little bit.
Yeah, I sent around, or I had Joni send around a book to everybody, because that's what you're going to be using as some of your course activities. But he was one of the most popular writers during the pulp fiction era, 1930s and 40s and then 50s. And that's why he was able to start the contest with such authority, because he published. He was able to write. He did scripts for Hollywood for movies, and then he also did a lot of stuff working with artists and with art. And so it's just, he wrote music, poetry, a lot of poetry. He was really into the arts and supporting artists, and saw that as so important. So that's part of why, this contest is created, and why it's maintained, is because, rewarding the arts was a really important thing to him, and putting for the future of that too, because it's a level playing field, because all the judges ever see is just your work in a number. So, you're up against it with everybody else, and everybody else is against you. So based upon the quality of your work and the creativity, then Echo is able to pull through. And this year we have winners from 5 different countries. Last year it's from 8 different countries. Overall, we've had winners from 50 countries. So, and it's all types of art. I don't know if you've seen other books before, but the types of art is just all over the books, based upon what country they're from. What's the ethnic art from China or Korea or Vietnam or South America or Central America. They're all different. So that's really cool. And then we have some winners that do the traditional painting, and then others that prefer doing do you do Photoshop, or what program do you use?
I use Clip Studio for the most part. I dabble in Photoshop when I need to, but I find Clip Studio's painting engine to be
easier, right? Because Photoshop's a pain in the. Never mind, I'm gonna say that out loud. But it's well, you're probably way better at it than I am, but I've been fooling around with it.
She won the contest.
Well, she sounds like she's younger than I am, so I've been fooling around with this thing since it came out, and I still can't bleep and use it correctly, because every time I master one, they start a new one. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, they broke the like color palette for a while, and
yes, I don't know what it is with them. Just leave it alone. You get, especially if you got something that works really good, don't blanket with it. Okay, just leave it alone. No, that's not gonna happen. So, yeah, but I do use it when I have to. I'm probably nowhere near what you can do.
You're absolutely nowhere near where she is.
I have to cheat. I use PicMonkey. PicMonkey helps a lot because I can go in there and edit stuff pretty easily, and then I can tell it stuff that I want, and it'll go find it for me. It doesn't make it for you. You have to put it together yourself, but it's not actually have to do any drawing. You just put it together.
You take it and you drag the tail over and put it in the back.
That's right. You put it there, put this there, put this over here. I mean, you make whatever you want. You just can't, I could draw an eyeball. Yeah, I could see that. It'd be this big around. Oh God, it'd be horrible. Glenda, we're talking about writers and illustrators of the future. Yes, they have a big event coming up in not very long, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And no, you can't come, but all you got to do is write in, go to writersofthefutures.com, join, win illustrator or win as an author, and come by and hang out with everybody.
Yeah, it was a contest created in 1983 by Owen Hubbard, and it's free to enter. And it's open to amateur short story and artists from around the world. That's this year's volume. That's going to be released.
Oh wait. Okay.
There's no entry fee, and it's open to anybody. So we've had winners in their 60s and 70s, and we've had illustrators. I think it was as young as 16 or 17. So it's all over the field. It's just all the judges, they have no idea when they're judging your story, where you're from, your age, nationality, ethnic, and nothing.
Look at that. Ooh, no, I'm cheating. No, anyway, somebody asked me your book. Yeah, somebody asked me where are the illustrated pictures? So they're in the front of the book. No, I can't show you one. You're trying to get me killed. Emily will knock me in the head.
She sure would.
These are from book, what am I in? 36. Yeah. Oh, yes, a great cover. Look at it. But this is book 36. Yeah, it's available.
That was painted by Echo, that cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Echo, whoever that strange woman is. You can still get these at galaxypress.com or Amazon, anywhere like that, so you can get it. But the one you want to get right now is the one I just had in my hand. 41, which somehow I lost it right here. There it is. So you want to get this one right here. I didn't notice something. I don't see no lightning in here, man. Where's the lightning at?
There's no lightning there.
Yes, on the picture on your website, you got lightning in there. I know, I notice everything, man. Come on. I notice everything. I can't help.
If you take the whole book, look at the back of your book there, Joe.
Oh, that don't count out, man. You don't expect me to flip it over and stuff. Get out of here.
You reserve your observation to just a limited scope. Right.
There. Ladies and gentlemen, you can pre-order that right now at Amazon.com, at GalaxyPress.com, anywhere you want to. It's out there. It's available. It's a great book. I've been through it 1.25 times now. I'm gonna finish reading it again next week. I wish it was in audio because I could do it while I was cutting my grass, but and then
I'll have it. I'll get you a advanced listening copy probably on Monday or Tuesday. Then, Joe.
Okay, that's cool. It's no, this one I can't give away, guys. This is just a copy. It's a reader's copy. It's not besides that, I'll get it.
It says advanced reading copy, not for resale. So this is something that.
So I'll have this book signed.
There's things in here that have been changed in the final book. So.
I'll have this one signed too, but I keep these. When John sends me these, I keep these. Besides that, to be honest with you, they get beat up. This one's already got frayed edges. It went to Phoenix with me just recently. It's been actually it went somewhere else with me just recently, Baton Rouge. So it gets drug around, beat around, it's thrown on the desk, shown to y'all a bunch of times. They just get beat up. So don't like giving it away. And whoever said that the other day, you're not getting any of my signed copies. I got a huge library full of signed books from all kind of people. No, I don't give them away. One day when I die, my son can sell them all. How's that? Isn't that morbid? I know. Anyway, moving on to something entirely different.
Martin, are you able to get yourself so that the light's shining on your face or something? Because you're like totally silhouetted.
He's using his Darth Vader image today, people.
I can get a little better here.
I am Darth Martin.
It keeps coming and going.
I have come for you. You know what? I'm gonna have to get. You know what? I might have it if I got an extra one. I'm gonna bring it with me just for you. I got these little cameras I bought. They got rings on them. You touch them and it gets brighter, brighter, and brighter. I couldn't do the big ones. I tried the big ones. They were like, oh Jesus, no! So I had to get the small ones, but they work really good. And for stuff like this, they're perfect. I know, Jimmy. I will hang it this week before I leave. Okay. They're talking about this picture right here. It's been sitting on top of the books for 2 weeks. John just got on to me about being lazy. Stop it. Steve, I'm trying to retire. Damn it. Martin, how you been anyway, man? So you're going to get to meet Heather. You'll get to meet me. That's a big thrill, too. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Before he writes, Martin and I have met many times. And we have talked many times. Oh, man. I don't want to give anybody any bad ideas. So coming to cause trouble, huh? So you and I should team up. And we'll get Tom and Echo with us, and we'll just cause some trouble, man.
Yeah, that's what the bar is for.
Yep.
It's no,
I keep on forgetting what it's called because I've called it BarCon for so many years.
I'm calling it BarCon. I refuse to call it LobbyCon. They call it LobbyCon.
LobbyCon. That's yeah. So for HeatherAnne, we have LobbyCon.
Yeah. And for all us old people, we have BarCon.
She's young and innocent.
That's right.
And this is very important, Heather. So we're letting you know in advance. This is when you get a chance to talk casually with the judges and with your fellow winners and so on. I know you're going to be exhausted. LobbyCon is where you make real friendships.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can sleep when you get home.
That's all right. Sleep
I won't even be sleeping when I get home. I have class the next day at 8 a.m.
Sleep when you're dead. That's what death is for sleeping. Yep. All the rest of us people, John can't sit still either. I have the hardest time sitting still. I've probably been ADD each day since I hit the floor, man. I can't help myself. But it's part of it. It's a good time, and LobbyCon is important. And I say this every time to every guest, every winner. If you all of a sudden find yourself getting shy to talk to somebody, just let me know and I'll introduce you. It's one of the things I do. I introduce them all the time because I'll walk right up and start talking because all the judges know me, so they already know I'm a pain in the you know what. So I said, I'll just come to introduce you to such and such, and I just want to say hi, and then I go do something else with myself, unless it's something I'm interested in. So it's a good place to meet everybody. It really is. There's a lot of talking going on down there. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people eating, some drinking, but mostly talking is really what goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, one thing I like with Martin, because this is 10th anniversary, but he comes back because, and it's just, he's been an amazingly gracious person about the contest and paying it forward. But what's been your timeline? And just, Martin, if you can't explain, because we have, like I said, 2.5 million people listening right now, what the concept is created by Owen Hubbard and what the contest has actually done for you, but also just for science fiction fantasy in general.
Well, I wish I had time to go through the entire history that you did last year for the 40th anniversary. I am not ashamed to say you had me in tears by the end, because so much of the history of science fiction that I grew up with was represented in that 40-year history. And suddenly I realized, and I'm a link in that chain. And that's what this contest is doing, is helping you become a link in the chain. Not that you can't become one without it. Kevin J. Anderson, one of our wonderful judges, never managed to win the contest, and it's still a pretty big link in that chain.
Yep.
But this contest winning helped me to meet Kevin and Rebecca, helped me to meet Chris and Dean, helped me to meet Echo and Laz, helped me to meet Joe and John and Joni and Jody and all of these.
Who's this Joni people y'all keep talking about? I've never heard of this woman before.
Yeah, all of these judges, all of these staffers, all of these people that are part of this chunk of the history, and they know me. And yeah, I've been there 10 years. Of course they know me. But they knew me the first year. And when I came back, they knew me more the second year. So they were helping me forge my career. And beyond that, they were helping me get opportunities. Mike Resnick invited me to a couple of anthologies. One I had to turn down because I didn't know the subject. One I participated in. Kevin J. Anderson invited me to publish a short story collection with his Wordfire Press and to co-author a book on dictation with him. I've had opportunities come from this, and I've had friendships come from this. That it's the line between student and mentor blurs radically through this contest, and it becomes peer and peer, and eventually friend and friend. So that I can contact these people and like, hey, I'm running into this. What do you think about this? I can ask the judges directly for feedback on things. I don't want to bug them, but they want me to bug them. That they will want you to use them as a sounding board and a mentor, use them as a sounding board and mentor, and eventually as a friend. These are connections that are all in one place as part of this contest that you'd have to make individually throughout your career otherwise. So it's like you're standing in the middle of a nexus of all of this history of science fiction and fantasy.
Which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. And one thing good is also, because as the family continues to grow, the number of people that were able to like participate, like we have 2 keynote speakers this year. One is Cyan Proctor. She was the call sign is Leo, but she's the first African-American female astronaut who piloted a ship, and she was on this is a couple years ago, but she won the ability to do it because it was a private thing with what she did. There was a civilian inspiration for, I think it was, and with SpaceX, and she won her seat in there because of a poem that she wrote about space and whatnot. So she's an artist and she's a poet, which is just like amazing. And then we also have, I'm trying to pull up all of his credits, but we also have Ron Clements, who is also a keynote speaker, and he was the director for Disney for, let's see, the movies that he's got credits for having directed, or maybe you've heard of them. Movies like The Great Mouse Detective, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, Treasure Planet, The Princess and the Frog, and Moana. So those are his creations as the director. So he's also our other keynote speaker. This type of stuff is great. And Cyan's guest that her +1 is the guy that runs all the live broadcasts of SpaceX. So he handles all the international broadcasts of SpaceX, all those launches. So it's that type of stuff that we're able to get because of the nature of what we've done over the last 4 decades plus, so we're very excited about, just the impact this contest has had and what Mr. Hubbard has been able to do over the, through this contest to make, now we're just under 1,000 winners, but to provide this opportunity for so many creative people, the writers and artists. So we're just very, very excited about it and so happy that we're able to have. I'm very much looking forward to meeting HeatherAnne and seeing a body, not just a black field with a red with a white circle in the middle.
John's gonna give you hell of a. No, that's
She's a lovely person, and I love to be able to have that prove out.
We're just going to leave that one alone altogether there. Ladies and gents, that's what happens when you come on here with no face show. It's
time.
No, it's okay. We just like giving people trouble. That's all. It's what are you talking about, Christopher? Oh no, Martin. No, what do you mean 10-year anniversary? No, he's talking about as a winner for Writers of the Future. What are you talking about? You thought he was talking about his wedding anniversary or something? What the hell you thought he was talking about?
Yeah, Martin's an alumnus. He's a 10-year. He won 10 years ago.
We got some weirdos texting in tonight, man. Y'all just keep texting over there to yourselves. No, Jack. We will have another guest joining us in about 15 minutes if that's what you're after. If those were the questions, let me find everybody again. Let's see what's on. So, Martin, what day are you getting there, Martin?
I am supposed to be coming in Saturday. I don't
Okay,
know
cool.
how late. I'd have to go back and check my ticket, but usual middle of the afternoon, probably.
Yes. I think I'm coming in Saturday afternoon. I told Jen I'll come in Tuesday. She said something about breaking an ankle or something. So I said, yes, ma'am. I'll see you there. Chris, the only way you're going to know Joni is if you meet her. I could sit here all day and tell you about her, but because she's like a little
Well,
whirlwind.
she was on your show last week, so you
Yeah,
can look
that's
at
true. You know what?
episode of the Author's
John's
School
absolutely
and
right.
see her. Yeah,
But she hung out with us last week. You can go listen to it. No, she's a sweetie pie. I love her to death. She is far more patient than I would ever be. Yes, I tell her that every year. I'm like, well, I asked her if she's Biden for sainthood or something. She's very patient. But that's the person you want to hear from if you want to be in the contest. That's the woman you want. You want to see that name come up.
How'd it go for you, Heather? Yeah, HeatherAnne. So how'd it go when you got your phone call? Was there any significance to it? Did you recognize, or did you put two and two together very fast?
It was. I remember I got the phone call, and it was a number I didn't recognize, so I just fully did not pick up the first time.
I'm saying we don't feel bad.
So I listened to the voicemail. I was like, oh wait, I need to call back like right now. And then it was about a week later. I think I was doing Tampa Bay Comic-Con that weekend. And right after I got the phone call, and Joni was like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Well, I feel like you wouldn't say that unless I won, so I'm gonna guess I won." And she was like, "Yeah." So disappointing and be, "Are you ready? Better luck next time."
Yes, you got to give her credit. She has a lot of fun with her job.
Yeah.
It's
And
that's
did
who
you
we're
remember,
talking.
Martin, yourself, your call?
My call. Okay, first I had 3 finalists, and the last one was finally a winner. So I was kind of up to speed. I knew how the calls went, and I also had a feeling on that one. The one that finally won, I just kind of felt like this is
That's
it.
the one.
And when she calls and she didn't immediately, sort of like HeatherAnne said, when she didn't immediately say, "I got bad news," it's like, "Hi, Joni, I know what this is about." Because Joni's actually from my state, from only about an hour away. So we built up a rapport that we're talking about what's going on in Michigan back and forth. So I knew Joni pretty well before I got to actually meet her in person. So I could just tell from her tone that this is it. I've been doing this for now, I think it's 14 times I entered before I won. And I've been through the finalist routine. This just feels right. The not winning feels okay because Joni knows how to soften the blow.
Yeah, not everybody can win, unfortunately. We want everybody to win, but not everybody can win. Jennifer, we're talking about writers and illustrators of the future contest. Yes, we're actually talking about book 41. This is the wrap up for the year. This coming not this week, but next week is their final wrap up for the year. They have their big gala event, and all the winners get to come down and meet everybody. It's a great event. Again, though, ladies and gentlemen, you can only get there if you win. So get your ass out there and win. Just submit. If I could write or draw, I'd submit every damn quarter. But so if you have any talent at all, submit. And the best part about this is, if you do have some talent, but it's still kind of raw, they're willing, if it looks good, to give you a call and say, "Hey, you might want to try this or do that." You're just missing out, people. If you're not, if you seriously want to be an illustrator or an author and you're not participating in this, you're just hurting your own self. Just to win alone will help you get jobs. Think of it like that. I can't say that on air. I'm sorry, Pete. You'll have to keep that for another show, my friend. Oh, Lord. I think people out there, but submit, writersfuture.com. That's all you got to do. Go over there, read the instructions, make sure you qualify, put your stuff up, and win. I like meeting new people. I know John does. You'll have a good time, too. You'll get to learn stuff and have a good time. You get to hang out in LA if you've never been there.
Plus, the winners all build lifetime relationships. It's the beginning of major relationships. So, Heather, and that's one of the coolest takeaways too, is that you'll have a bunch of other fellow artists and writers that you're going to get to know, and then you'll maintain relationships, literally for the rest of your life. We've got, you're like Martin. So you were a winner, like I said, in volume 41. So you're still in touch with people from back then?
Yep. Carrie and Steve and Zach and Austin once in a while. Amy, Scott, Sharon. Those I'm interacting with regularly. And then the others, I'm on social media a lot and they're not, so I don't run into them as much as I used to. But these are all my peers. These are all my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're one of my sisters now too, that we are family in a way that I'm going to expect you to trust that you can ask me questions too.
Yes.
I can't help you with the art, but I might have insight on the business.
Yeah. And one thing that's interesting too, like you're gonna meet Heather, and you're gonna meet B. Jackson, and
he's fun.
Her break came because she's just one of those amazingly hardworking individuals, and one of her friends that she works with, because she's in art groups, had a job come up that she just couldn't do. She was already booked out. And so she asked B if she wanted to do it. So she took it. And so you're going to find stuff like that where you're going to have other people, when you start building in this relationship, that you get to be friends, that they get to know you, you get to know them, and opportunities will come up where they're like, okay, good. I can't handle this, but I know somebody else who can, and they'll tag jobs over to you, and you'll be able to tag jobs over to others as well. And some of the winners end up getting jobs from the judges, that are.
It's true too.
Yeah. They just, okay, look at, so I need another artist that does what you do. And so let's give it a shot, so that happens with considerable regularity.
I know, James. No, he's serious. A lot of them get jobs from the judges. I've actually met a couple since I've been there, and matter of fact, I was there on a couple occasions when it actually happened in front of me. So it's interesting. If you got talent, you got to remember a lot of these judges are busy with their lives and whatever else they're doing, and sometimes want help. And I hate to say it, I think they would prefer to hire someone from writers in the future. I'm just being honest about it. I mean, I'm friends with several of the illustrator judges and several of the author judges, and it just seems like to me that's the way they would rather go. And I'm with them on that. I did stuff like that's always better to hire that way. You're getting somebody you know their talent, you're seeing their talent. It's somebody you can help out. Somebody will be appreciative because you actually took the time to help them out, and that's the kind of people you want. But
it's not what you know.
Commodity with writers and illustrators the future.
It's not what you know. It's who knows you know it.
Yeah.
Somebody knows you know it. It's But anyway, I better get my butt busy because I know we're supposed to be bringing on the other guests, and I'm playing around like I know what I'm doing here or something. Jeffrey. Oh, no, he's on Friday night. You're talking about the other Jeffrey, Church of Mavis. Yeah, he's on Friday night. Come by and check him out. No, he's crazier than any of us four put together. Easily. Yeah, his mama dropped him on his head when he was a baby. Hey, things happen sometimes. You just got to deal with that. And let's go find Carmen.
No, you want
No, I keep the numbers in my list.
Eric Kane Stone and Darci Stone are the next ones.
Yeah. No, I keep them inside of Carmen's emails.
Oh, okay, good.
That way I know where they're at when I need them, and I don't have to go hunt them down and stuff like that. It's because he always CCs it to everybody, so I just use the CC to send it back. Frank, don't even ask me. If you don't know what a CC is, I'm not even going to try to explain it to you. Dude, just stop. Your mom must
way back in the old days, a carbon copy was, we used to use carbon paper to make copies of things. that's way old school. And if you needed 3 copies, you had 2 pieces of carbon paper that put between 3 pieces of paper, and you had to write really hard.
It's messy, get it all over your fingers.
And then carbon paper, after about, I don't know, the 20, 30, 40th time, then there's no more ink on it. So you have to get another piece of carbon paper. And then if you needed more than 3 copies, you're like, it doesn't really work. But anyway, that abbreviation is carried forward for however many decades that is, as a carbon copy, a CC.
Yeah. See, John explains it. So now you know what what a CC is. Well, no, we all use it because we all do multiple things in one email. So sometimes
an email, you have CC and you have BCC, which is blind CC. So,
so we just, we send them. You just sometimes there'll be 8, 9, 10 people you send in something to, just or more. So it's just easier that way. Well, I have group lists too, but I'd rather not use group lists. It might end up like, what's his name from,
Yeah, on the last email, that one with.
Anyway, we're not going to. It's politics.
The signal text. Yes.
Yes, the signal text. That was
infamous signal text.
That is ignorance beyond a level of ignorance I've ever seen. I mean, you got to invite people. I use Signal. I love Signal because it is end-to-end encrypted, but you have to invite somebody into the group chat. They can't just pop in on their own. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. That's for another show. It's we don't talk about them things around here. Let me see. I think we got who just popped in with us?
Eric and Darci.
Darci, how you doing? Hi, James. How you doing? Or Eric, how you doing? I'm seeing things. I need to get better glasses. That's the thing too.
Are you guys are disembodied spirits just like HeatherAnne then, huh?
Yes. They're twins.
Oh, man. The ghosts have got into the machine tonight.
Exactly. Eric,
we don't want you to know that we're really reporters for The Atlantic.
Oh, my God. Oh, you heard that coming in. It's, things like that just crack me up. I mean, I shouldn't laugh about it, but it's just, you just have to go, really?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're over the age of 10, you know how to text. Let's just be honest about it.
Okay. So with that, moving on, and we got Darci Stone. You're the grand prize winner for volume. Which one was it?
34.
4. And then Eric was a finalist, a published finalist, then a winner way back in 1926, was it, Eric?
Yeah. I was a published finalist in volume 20 and a winner in volume 21.
Yeah. So that's it's one of that. So it's your 20th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's your 20th anniversary and Martin's 10th anniversary and HeatherAnne's 0th anniversary.
I'm new.
Yeah. The new baby.
Yep.
Yes.
So she's crazy. So I got 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, 36, no 30.
No 34.
I thought I had it up there. It came in a package. It's got to be in that. It's got to be somewhere else in the room. But because I think it was 10 books and it was 30 through 40 or something.
Yeah.
Some package I had got from y'all one time a while back. So y'all are authors, right? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of authors? I mean, you like sci-fi, fantasy, some other kind of weird horror or something?
I've written a lot of science fiction and fantasy. I've been published in Analog magazine a bunch of times, as has Martin. I think we've even been in one issue together.
Yep.
And so yeah, science fiction and fantasy is my main arena.
I mean, just ordinary everyday science fiction, or because I'm a big fan of near now science fiction, to be honest with you. But and I hate saying near now because near now to me is like 80 years to like 500 or 600 years, 400 or 500 years.
I've written everything from science fiction that's in the near future, like maybe next 10 years, to far future. With galaxy spanning civilization and stuff like that.
Yes. Well, I like all sci-fi. I'm not going to lie. I just have a preference. Oh, you found it?
This is volume 34 that Darci was published in, and her story was the Mara's Shadow was illustrated by Quentin Glean. And so her story was the grand prize winner. And that was also the year that you have Bruce Bernise, who's been very active, and he's in almost all the different panels that we have when we go to various conventions. We see him around. And this was also, let's see, we also had B. Jackson illustrated one of the stories. That was the lesson. I think that was done by Scott Card. Yeah, but it was Scott Card. So anyway, another amazing volume. And the cover was done by the artist named Cirello. He lives in Spain. He'll be doing a Zoom call, so you'll meet him as well, HeatherAnne. He does amazing dragons and wizards and fantasy stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Eric and Darci, you're coming out again for the workshop to help. So what brings you back every year? That's because you guys are also like Martin. You're like constantly, coming back to help, and to pay it forward. What makes it for you such an event for you that you like to be able to do this?
I was a published finalist, and then came back the next year as a winner. And my first 2 out of my first 5 stories that were published were Writers of the Future stories, and I could really see the boost to my career that it gave to have those publications. And then I just kind of started coming back because I had friends who would win the contest and things like that. And eventually the people running the contest said, well, hey, Eric, since you're here, why don't you talk to the new winners about, what to do after winning the contest and stuff like that. And so I just kind of became a fixture of the workshop. And then when, Darci won, I, of course, went out to the workshop to support her. And then, she and I have been coming back ever since.
Yeah. And then you also won a Nebula Award too, subsequently.
Yes, I did. That was a real highlight of my career. And the trophy is very nice and sparkly. It's not nearly as big as Darci's Golden Pen Award.
As Darci is always so able to point out.
Yes, we keep some of our awards in our front room, and I always point out that mine is the biggest.
It's funny when they both do panels, when we do panels, like when we'll go this year to FanX Salt Lake, they'll be on the panel, and they have just a real fun little shtick thing that they do where then Eric starts off with his little winner trophy, and then Darci has her winner trophy, and then
which is bigger because hers is first place and mine was just a second place.
Yeah, so her first place is bigger than your second place, but then you have your Nebula, which was like, it's a real pretty trophy. Then she pulls out, she gets her forklift and lifts up then her other her grand prize trophy for the that year for the writer contest. So it makes a real fun, like I said, a real fun shtick that people just really get a kick out of.
It is fun to do our introduction that way, but it does mean we have to pack an extra suitcase just to hold all the trophies.
They probably charge you for that damn thing.
Yes. And just they can only do that if they can bring it from their home, because if they have to fly with it, then they have to clear through a special security at customs because they're concerned that they might be WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, or some such thing.
I know. Well, every time I go through with this thing, where's that right here? Let me show you this little thing right here, which is a mic holder. I get flagged every time. Pull me over the side. They search it because in here underneath, there's a weight in it. It's a little lead weight. It's a little square weight. And every time they tell me it's an explosive, I'm like, whatever. I don't even bring it anymore. It stays home now. I bring a different mic stand, but the hell with it.
They look at your record and know, okay, there's something about this guy.
No, they look at me. If they would look at my record, they just let me go through. So special forces, kills people. You let this guy through, but no, they want to go harass me is what they want to go do. It's and it's funny because the first 3 times I flew out to LA with it, they never bothered me, but the last 3 they did. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And twice in DC they did. They got really freaky in DC actually. They got a little on the paranoid, panicky side. That's like
maybe it comes in saying how UFOs are real, and so they know that you're whacked out.
I know. I told him, the guy, he's like, yeah, you got to prove it's a UFO. I mean, a UFO. A mic stand. I said, you see that big blue mic there? You see them 2 little black knobs on the side? Take them off. It fits right in there. Screw it. This guy turned purple. God, I can't even tell you what he said. Got all kind of mad and stomped off. The officer behind me said, I guess you can go now. I mean, I swear. And you know how smart ass I am to start off with. So it's not good to pull me just you better have you know what to get if you're going to pull me over side and harass me. It's but I still love to fly, even though the planes keep falling out the sky.
And speaking of writing and illustration on this amazing show here,
I can't help it. Oh man! All right, stop. Whoever keeps hanging.
So now,
people,
Eric and Darci and Martin you also have a panel that you do on how to do events and the post-win type stuff. So that's just based on your hard-won of experience of what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah. So basically, what we try to explain to the new writers is, your careers can go in various different ways. There's no, one path that everybody takes to success after winning the contest. And we kind of give examples from our own experience about things that have worked for us and will hopefully work for them. And one of
the things we talk a lot about is just the networking that Writers of the Future really helps to set up, because you get to meet all of these other people that are interested in writing, either the other winners that are entering the field or the established authors that present their panels. And it really does help, to make these connections and get advice. And I know with me, I was lucky because Eric did all the hard work. And then I was able to get a Hollywood agent through him. And so my story that I wrote for Writers of the Future, which it was kind of a sci-fi thriller about a pandemic that started in Asia, by the way. This was before 2020.
Yeah.
But I was able to workshop that and then, sell, what do they call it? A shopping agreement with Hollywood. So I got extra money through that. And just a lot of these, your friend of a friend can really help you in this industry. So.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. And so that's one thing, HeatherAnne, you're going to be able to, like I said, we mentioned it earlier, but this is like a real life example of how this stuff actually comes to fruition. And I've had so many instances of artists from doing this type of media here, where somebody wants to reach out and they'll probably reach to Joe because I don't think we have your contact information visible, but what type of art do you do? What type do you, when you do commissions and stuff?
Yeah, I definitely focus on the fantasy sci-fi, but I do a lot of very vibrant, saturated illustrations. I really like creature designs, so I do a lot of monsters and dragons, a lot of action and movement. So that's primarily the work I focus on.
Yeah.
Ooh, dragons, more dragons. Boy, they got some dragon. I tell you what. So since I've been coming here for 6 years, I have met some seriously good dragon doers, writers, illustrators. I don't know what I want to call them. Well, I mean, because first off, you got Larry Elmore, who, he's the king of dragons because he did Dungeons and Dragons. Tom Wood did one of the illustrations. Where's it at? It's somewhere. There's it at. Anyway, he's got one of the covers with a big old dragon on the front of it. Mm-hmm. And then
we had April Solomon, who was
and then April's April's insane with her dragon drawing.
She is so good. But the thing with her as well was I introduced her to the guy that runs the blood drive at Dragon Con. So then he got her to do last year's T-shirt art for anybody that donates blood. Then she painted that T-shirt, so that gave her that commission for there. There's no pay in it, but that's just you've got like 3,000 people getting the T-shirt that so she's got all that free publicity that she just got as a result of that. So that's something that the contest provided.
Yeah, there's a lot of good dragon drawers. That's all I got to say. I keep picking on them. One of these days, I said I'm going to put together 3 of the pros and 3 of the winners so we can do a little donation for somebody, maybe for St. Jude or something. But if I ever, now that I'm semi-retired, I might have more time. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that for some reason, but we're going to try. It's, but I love coming out. I mean, so many great people. There's so many good people out there to talk to. You've got winners from the past. You've got judges. You've got fellow winners from now. It's just so many connections to make that can help you in the future that it's not even funny. And like I said, so many of them stay friends for so long. There's lifelong friendships made there, and it's interesting to watch. It's also interesting to see who pairs up with who and who makes friends with who.
Yeah, and I know it's fun to watch some of the careers of like my fellow winners. Yep. Because the year that I won, there are 4 finalists there at the end. So you kind of have a love-hate relationship, right? Because you don't know who the grand prize winner is yet, but you know it's going to be one of the 4 of you. And in my year, I know 2 of them have gone on to publish novels. I think Jeremy Grotenhouse has done some fantasy novels. And then one of the other winners in my year, Vida Cruz, she's from the Philippines, and I've seen, she'll post on social media different anthologies that she's publishing. And so it's fun to kind of keep tabs on each other and see how it's going.
Yeah, because a lot of them are getting good, profitable careers. So I always like watching them. Besides, you never know which one's going to hit it big. Well, I know that person. Yeah, they just wafted out big. You don't know who it is going to be.
Yeah, and it's never really been like, okay, the grand prize winner is the one that has all the doors open for him. It's just anybody that's publishing this book, its doors opened. It's like, and I've rarely picked, what's going to be the grand prize story, and even sometimes the first place for the quarter, like, well, I like number 2 or number 3 in that quarter better, but I'm not a judge. Everybody's got their own taste, so nobody here in the contest has any effect or influence on the judging. It's all done by judges.
Ain't that the truth? I ain't picked it right yet. 6 times I got it wrong every time.
That's how I feel about the art. I have notoriously bad at trying to predict the art winner for the year.
Either one. I can't get it either. I'll go in, I see all this stuff, I think, that one's definitely going to win. That one's nope. Oh, that story's definitely going to win because I read about nope. I'm like, damn, I'm just going to give this up. Obviously, I don't know what the judges want to know because. So somebody asked me last year, you think? I said, you don't want to know who I think is going to win because they're not going to win. So if it's you might be upset.
Yeah. So I don't even bother trying. But my stable datum on this whole thing is that these are the 12 best new voices of writing and 12 best new voices of illustration in science fiction and fantasy. That is a true datum. And so regardless of where you're the grand prize or not, you've been selected by some of the top artists in the world and top writers in science fiction and fantasy. So the fact that you've been selected, you're already in that top ranking of new voice because the number of entries that come in to be able to rise to the top of that is quite an accolade to you and yourself as an artist or as a writer. So the fact that can't pick out who's the winner, I don't really care. I'm always amazed with the fact that over the nearly 1,000 winners that we've had, the probably less than two handfuls of people have not had a personality. everybody's just been amazing, except for like literally like two handfuls of people out of 1,000
Now,
people.
now I want a list of who has no personality. I'm sure.
Yes.
You got people that they have no manners. They're like, just like, really, it's like, but people can just go on and they can find out that they've got a family, got somebody that's got their back that will help them. You got people that will support you, that won't give you a rash of crap for, trying to make it. Won't say, they're not the ones that are going to tell you, okay, don't give up your day job. Not that you should, but they're not going to be there to be the backhanded compliment that just leaves that little smart on your face when they've said it. You're not going to find that with this contest. And that's why all these awards, we just, Volume 40 is winning more awards. I just got an email saying, are you going to come out to the awards ceremony to pick up your award? So it's, we just, we get these more. I just got an email from IBPA, Independent Book Publishers Association. Could give us the rest of the data because because we need it for the awards event. So it's that kind of stuff we get with regularity because it's such a well-known competition, and we already have everybody. So HeatherAnne, you're already saying you're an international best-selling artist just from having when we announced it, we had #1 in like 5 different categories.
Wow.
So it's just amazing what kind of recognition this book has. And then once it rolls out, we'll have a lot more.
I'll tell you what, when I'm lecturing at different colleges around, I notice most everybody knows who Writers of the Futures. I know that the professors do too, because I get asked a lot about y'all. I mean, I've gotten into it with a couple of Tulane professors, but I was at LSU not that long ago. I got asked a couple of times. As Mississippi State, I got asked a couple of times. Ole Miss, I got asked a couple of times. I was at Virginia Tech. They asked. It seems like it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what I'm lecturing about because there's several different things I lecture about. It doesn't seem to matter. Somewhere doing the Q&A, because I always leave 45 minutes to an hour for Q&A. Someone's going to ask me about Writers of the Future, and I got a regular spiel I give them, but people know about y'all. People want to be part of it. It's a good thing to do. So if these people in these colleges are paying this much attention, who are later on going to run companies and get into businesses, then they're already aware that this is a good thing. One of my friends down here who owns a gaming company, we were talking about this not too long ago. He's fully and functionally aware. I didn't even know he knew who Writers of the Future was until one day he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm headed out to LA for Writers of the Future." He said, "Oh, really? You know them people? Oh, man, that's a great contest." He went on and on and on. I had no idea, not even a clue he knew who y'all were. And but he did. And he said he actually prefers if people have, it's good to have when you hire somebody that has some kind of wind behind them or some really good credit behind them, so that when they come into a job, you don't feel like you have to be watching them every minute or every day. And
I mean, if your friend here, I'm not going to pay for him, but if he wants to come out, I can invite him to it because
I'll ask him.
He can provide that opportunity to the winners, to people like HeatherAnne to create games and stuff.
Yeah, we're going to have dinner. He's got a boat. I'm sorry, let me call it a yacht because he gets mad every time I call it a boat. But we're going out to dinner in May. I'll ask him when I see him. He's a character and a half is what he is. But he came down here originally. I met him through the press. He came down originally and said, "Look, I'm moving my company to Louisiana. I'm going to starting pay is $110,000. If you're an illustrator, an author, a programmer, everybody starts at the same pay. You work your way up from that point." And he came in, he hired like 30 each right off the bat. And he's constantly turning over and hiring people. And a lot of people get good careers out of him. But
if he wants to come, he might find some good people to check out.
We talked about that not that long ago. We were out having dinner on his Marky's boat. So he gets so mad when I call it. This thing's like 118 feet long. It's not a boat, but it's he's nice to be that kind of stinking rich. Let me tell you what. See, and all y'all can be that stinking rich, not me though. No, I can only be so rich and then I get aggravated. I got to go find something else to do with myself. Kimberly Watts, what do you got for us? You want to be an illustrator? Well, go to school, or do you have any talent at all? I tell you what, you can cheat. I'll help you cheat here. I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm going to help you cheat. So just before this show, there's a show called
The
Professional.
Professional.
That's right. And the lady who hosted is Echo Cherney. She's the coordinating judge for, guess what? Writers of the Future. So go listen to her. She has some great guests on. You can pick up some stuff. And you know what? She doesn't mind answering questions. I mean, don't go get crazy and ask her 5 million questions, but if you're a regular listener, a regular viewer, she'll help you out. She's really good at what she does. Actually, 2 of my hosts have started painting because of her. Yeah. Matter of fact, one of us telling us a little while ago, he's getting ready to go upload one of his paintings for the next show. And this boy couldn't have drawn an apple. Here he is painting. He said he's learning from her.
Yeah, we also had a winner. It's been 10 years. Her last name was Webb. I forget her first name right now. She was from Alaska, and in one of those really small towns in Alaska, she taught herself how to paint on taking YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos, and just learning stuff. And she had like hardly anything to start with, but then gradually built up, and she got an iPad then and just continued to work herself up. Larry Elmore, one of our judges, when he first started as an illustrator, very, very poor. He had a pencil and a knife that he would sharpen it with. And then each week with his mom and him, they would get groceries, and it would come back in a box, and they'd cut the box up into all the different sides. And that's what he used to illustrate, to practice his drawing on. He did that for years because they were so poor, he couldn't afford anything else. So there's that. And we've had so many winners that just had nothing to start with in terms of resources. We had this one girl, just a real sweetheart, a couple of years ago from Turkey, whose teachers were saying, no, don't do it. They were trying to stop her and tell her, don't do art. You know, you need to be an engineer or an artist or a doctor. And she was constantly being chastised for doing her art. She's now doing amazingly well at UCLA. I think she's in her junior year or senior year now. So you can, if you really have a drive to be an artist, you can do that. And it's not, nobody else is stopping you. You just need to have enough drive to do it yourself and to be able to learn. I mean, HeatherAnne, if you weren't listening to it at the beginning, and when she was in 2nd grade, you know, that's her decision to do that. And all of her stuff, her little program, her little books all had, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm an artist. And she's just been doing art since. So that's a big part of anything as a writer or as an artist. It's your own personal drive that's going to make it go. Does anybody want to chip in on that in terms of your comment?
I have something to add to that. I very much am of the opinion that all you need to do to be an illustrator is just something to draw with, something to draw on, and then the desire to draw. And a lot of people say like you were born with a talent, but it just takes practice. It just takes time and studies and learning. Draw what you see, draw what you do, and just practice.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you've got the urge to do that. I never had the urge to do that, but I've had other urges to do things that's what I do. You have to practice. You have to just practice, and just deal with it until you've mastered it. And then keep on practice. Don't get to the point of, okay, I already know all that.
Yeah. And you're never done learning. There's always something to improve on and to learn. Yeah.
And that's the thing with, again, Larry's got this great story as an illustrator. Someone came up to him, oh yeah, that's an Elmore rock. He said, what do you mean? Your rocks all look the same. He said, what? He never really inspected. So then he started really studying rocks and doing rocks. And then he learned how to do rock. And then the same thing with water, you know, just his waterfalls and rivers and stuff like were always the same. So then he really studied water and how it flowed and what about this one, about that. And then it just totally changed when he was like really got into studying these things. It's not the same. And it requires practice. He's been doing this thing for 50 years.
Larry's always, if you ever get a chance to sit down and talk to him, do it. That man can out-talk me and John and half the people put together. He's got some stories, and he's got some good ones too.
Amazing stories.
Yeah, it's always fun to just sit and listen to him. And he's up there. He's a Kentucky boy too, so he's got a little accent. Hey, Christopher. It's no, oh no, Jimmy, that's in an hour. Yeah, you can come catch us in the chat. I always tell people, if you're going to come listen to chat, be sure you're not easily offended, because one of the five of us is going to offend somebody. So just if no, really, if you're offendable, it's not the show for you. I can tell you. We don't discriminate against anybody, anything. It just I'm just
Where
warning
you
you.
discriminate against everybody.
Yeah, same thing. Either way, it's it's we're equal opportunity haters or lovers. Just depends what kind of mood we're in. It gets a little crazy. But what's that, Jennifer? So writersofthefuture.com, Jennifer. If you want to buy something, galaxypress.com or Amazon. You can go to Amazon. Or you can go to Books and New.
I do recommend you get Rise of the Future Volume 41. It is the best new science fiction and fantasy writers for the year. And we've also got stories from Tim Powers. He's a 3-time World Fantasy Award winner. He's got a story in there. Robert Sawyer's got an article, an essay that he wrote on writing. Sean Williams wrote a story based on his cover art that was done by Craig Elliott. And then Tom Wood did an essay on becoming an artist and what his journey was and his advice. So
I'll keep an eye on that Tom Wood guy. He's trouble, man. I'm just teasing. He knows his stuff. I'll say that. I like talking with him. He's well rounded. So is Dean. He's also well rounded in the way he looks at the world. People when you've been in business a long time, you kind of get an idea of how everything around you works. And that's one thing about him. There's a couple people there you're going to get to talk to, not about whether you're an author or an illustrator, but there's a lot of stuff when it comes to running a business or being part of a business or trying to keep your money safe or knowing how to invest or things like that. These guys are really good at this, and you can tell because they've been in business for a long time. So those are the kind of people you want to talk to. Anybody who's got a business and is successful over a long period of time, you want to talk to those people because that means you have a chance of following their success. It's not like the guy who went out and got his dad's 100,000 or his million. Oh, I'm rich now, and a year later you're not. That's not the way to be. Helen, the audiobook. When is it coming out? Like a month?
It's coming out when the book comes out. So it's April 22nd.
Okay, so there you go, Helen. Yeah, no, you can get it.
You can pre-order it right now.
Yes, go pre-order. Get it going.
Pre-order. That'd be great.
No, you see, Helen, you're like me. I prefer to, because it's hard for me to sit down and read. I can sit down and listen all day long because like when I'm doing archives or if I'm doing bids or promotions for customers or setting up meetings and stuff like that, or even writing lectures, I can listen. But trying to read that while I got everything else going, I don't absorb it enough when I'm reading it. I actually, unfortunately for me, I absorb things better when I hear it than when I see it. Yeah, it's probably because I'm a crazy old person. But it does work better for me, and I noticed that it works real good. I can listen to it. Well, because my problem was that I was learning how to taught speed reading very young, and speed reading I've gotten so used to it. For stories, it kind of takes something away from the story. I don't know how else to put it. It's like you're taking out chunks here and there. Those little bitty words that you go over and stuff end up making a difference sometimes in a decent story.
Yeah, speed reading is not. It's actually not good. Period. I mean, some people will swear by it, but it's just you don't. There's no it totally reduces comprehension down to.
It does. The only thing it's good for is documentary stuff that you can skip those words and it doesn't change anything. But when it comes to any kind of fiction, or it's not good to speed read. So I'd rather listen in that way. I'm not losing any parts of the story. Well, I can tell a difference when I listen to something when I read it. Yes, and I try to read normal. Just my brain it was trained that way when I was young, so it just wants to kick into that mode. So, oh no, everybody in my family's big readers. Everybody is. My son actually writes quite well. I just can't get him to submit anything to Galaxy Press. No, I know from listening to all these judges.
He's skip out the old block.
He's got decent talent. No, I can't write anything. He's actually got talent. And I told him, no, he asked me when they can. I said, yeah, you're pretty good. Somebody don't believe me. Go ask somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. I said, just submit it to Writers of the Future. They'll tell you right there. You know, and I said, no, he just won't do it. I think he thinks it's going to be an embarrassment to me or something if he doesn't win. I'm like, no, just, most authors don't win first time. Right. Illustrators might, but authors don't. Authors usually round, 10, 12, 14 times before they win. It's dependent on, but, it varies.
Darci won on her first submission.
See, because she's got the big trophy. That's why.
Yeah. I have a lot of outside help and support, so there you go.
Yeah,
that's always a good thing too. It is always a good thing. It helps when you can talk to people when you're writing or doing things. It's because anytime I'm writing stuff for work or stuff, I'll do a big stuff and then I'll hand it to somebody to reread it, and then I'll hand it to somebody else to reread it. Then I'll put it together and send it out because it's business stuff. Or like when I'm fighting with other radio stations or YouTube, I'll do the same thing. But it's good to have support. That's all I can say. It's good to have friends. It's good to have people know what the hell they're talking about. And ladies and gentlemen, when you get out there with these judges, they know what they're talking about. What is it, Philip? Who's rich? Tell me who. Some are more rich, but you got. I can't tell you which ones. You got to ask me. Well, you see, if you're not going to, no, I know which ones are rich and which ones are okay. Yes, I met them all, but still, that's just a moronic question to ask anyway. It's save that for another show or another night. What's that? So James from Philadelphia. Hey, what you doing up there in Philly? Is it raining today? How are things going? Anyway, James from Philadelphia. And this is just an open question for the room. He says, since all y'all are winners, how do you feel now? Two of y'all I know have won further back in the past. So this might be easier for y'all than for Heather, but he's basically just asking, after you won and you started moving forward, when did you feel like this was starting to pay off for y'all? It's a bad word, but still, you know what I mean. Anybody? Martin? Darci?
I think it's going to have to depend how you define payoff, because I haven't given up my day job.
But I mean,
I'm going to have to earn a lot of writing money before I can give up my day job.
I understand that one.
Rewards are more than just money.
Yeah, it is more than money. It is more than that. Well, I'm just seeing if he's going to change his question after he said that. But no, I guess he's not. I don't know. I think Darci's the one you got to ask that question to. She's down there high and say, "Don't ask me that damn question."
What's the question?
Oh, now I lost it. Hold on. Where the hell did it go? Did you, Mr. Philadelphia? Did you delete this or something? Well, maybe not. It's not in the chat group anymore. Okay, well. Sorry for that. All right. Oh, wait. Somebody's got to open it. Feedback or something. What is that? Let me see. Hello. Is it coming from that? No, it's not coming from that one. Let's try this one. Is it coming from that one? Hello. No, it's not coming from that one. Oh, come on. Christopher Ray. That can't be a real name. I'm not believing you that that's a real name. No, I'm not believing that that's a real name. You mean me? What is my favorite genre? Sci-fi. Yeah, I like sci-fi. Fantasy, I like fantasy too. I don't know. I like all of it, to be honest with you. When I start reading through one of the books, I find that stories that I didn't think I might not have been attracted to that are actually I enjoy the fantasy stories. I don't know about horror, but there's not much in the way of real horror. Yeah, and I'm not the hugest horror fan to start off with. I don't know. I'm not a writer yet. So Pete, no, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Scroll up. Jessica, where you at, Jessica? Hi, Jessica. Miami, Florida. How's Miami? I've been to Miami many, many times. Yes, Miami's a great place. I was just down in Keys not too long ago. Visited another famous author's home, matter of fact. Yes. I was down there. I actually went to visit some friends, but I figured while I was there, I might as well go ahead.
You got something weird on your microphone, Joe.
I don't know if it's mine or where is it coming from. I was seeing. It's not that one. Let's see. It's that one. It's actually something. Okay. It's actually something coming through yours. It's feeding back through your mic for some reason. You must have speakers on or something. It's turn them down a little bit. That's all that is. What do you mean? So now this is just a dumb question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. We're going to take Utah out of this part of this question, but this question came in, and the person's out of New York City, and they want to know, if you're an author, are there particular places in the United States where authors are more successful? Anybody want to take that question? Because I don't know.
Well, I mean, it is a big joke that Utah has a disproportionate number of writers. Darci and I are both from Utah. I know there's a writer winner from Utah in volume 41.
Yeah, and I don't know as much about the conventions out east, but I do know in the Western United States, they do have a lot of conventions geared towards sci-fi and fantasy, whether it's in Denver, Utah, California. So we do have a lot of support. Although Odyssey, that one's out east, right?
Yeah, that's a writer's workshop.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you though. I do feel like once you pass Texas, there seems to be more of them out west than there is out in the east. I mean, there's a few in the east, but I can't right off the hand think of more than 3 or 4, and I can think of more than that out on the west. And all the West Coast states seem to have one, actually. Oh, we mean Frank? No, the reason I said Utah is because what he was just talking about is Utah seems to have a lot of people who write. Mm-hmm. I've met a lot of authors out of Utah. Most of them in science fiction, but not all of them. I guess because Utah's where the aliens live. I have no idea.
It's exactly what you said, though. It's community that they have enough people there, all with a value on writing and reading, so that it builds a community there that is, I mean, he's never been a winner here, but our friend Gama Martinez literally moved to Utah because of the community he knew he would be able to interact with, got himself a job there, eventually got himself a wife there because of the community he knew he would have. So I'm not moving to Utah, but I kind of envy Gama that boldness to do that, and it's helped him.
Well, I like Utah. I've been there several times. I've actually done several lectures in Utah, and I was just there not too long ago. Actually, I was there about 2 years ago when I went to go visit John up at FanX. And there's lots of Utah I like. Moab I really like for some reason. But there's somewhere where I go do regular lectures. It's about an hour from Area 51, an hour and a half from Area 51, something like that. I can't remember the name of the town now. And it's a great place. And y'all got some of the most beautiful skies in the country. What do you have, 8 dark sky parks in Utah? That's crazy.
Yeah.
The place, we stopped one night coming back from Area 51. We stopped in this old ghost town, and then we stopped in this place past that. The sky is stunning. You can hear the coyotes off in the distance, and every now and then you'd see some white specks headed for this orange glow, which of course was Vegas, way off in the distance. But the skies were beautiful. I mean, I lost count of shooting stars in less than 20 minutes. It was just one after another. Milky Way is beautiful. The whole place is great. And I hate to say this because I don't want to jinx myself, but I haven't met anybody nasty in Utah yet. I know, really, I haven't. I mean, I do a lot of traveling, and I'm surprised. It's everybody's always nice. Everybody's always friendly. People go out of their way to help you. Matter of fact, I was giving a lecture there, and I had left a sign in a bedroom at one of the hotels, and it was about a week later. Somebody's knocking on my door. They actually paid to send it back to me at my house. I was like, get out of here. Nobody does that. I was thinking, nobody does that. You'd be lucky if you get a phone call. You left this, sir. It's going to cost as much to ship it to you. Things like that. But ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance to visit Utah, it is a beautiful state. The people are great. There's lots of beautiful things to see there. There's a lot of wide open country there as well. Plus, somewhere after you leave Moab, there's some crazy big UFO alien shop off an interstate down there. And the cops don't seem to care how fast you go. No, I'm sure they do. Okay, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but that stretch of interstate from Colorado all the way down to Salt Lake City, I was doing 90. I blew by cops. They didn't even look up at me. I mean, literally, they didn't even look up. They were like, yeah, whatever, dude, you're not going fast. I was thinking, Jesus. Oh, but it's nice. It is. I would recommend anybody go vacation there. You should go there at least once.
This slight change of topic, but in addition to places here in the U.S., I think it's important for authors to remember international markets as well. I know both Eric and I have had stories printed, in other countries and other languages. So there's a lot of readers outside the U.S.
Yeah, 7-something billion of them, 7.85 billion or something. Well, she's got a good point because this show goes out to 145 countries by itself in all time zones. So, we have a large international audience. It's one of the things we pride ourselves on. But it's great, and it is a big audience. What's it? No, Jimmy, you can get your books translated. Sometimes you got to pay for it. Sometimes a company will pick it up and do it. It just depends on. There's a lot of variations on how that works out, depending on who you're dealing with.
Yeah, I know. Eric and I are friends with an author named Dan Wells. That his,
I know Dan.
Yeah, so his books did really well in Germany, and his family actually moved to Germany for a while, and that was one of his big markets. They really liked. He kind of had a what would you call it? Dark fantasy kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was thinking if it's a Dan Wells. I know he's been on UFO Undercover with me a couple of times. It's anyway. We won't go there. That's a good show too, people. If you don't mind being scared every once in a while. Y'all got 2 minutes. Anybody wants to cram in a question? Well, you know what? No more questions. Y'all just forget it. We're going to start with who came in first. So we're going to start with Heather. Heather, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here? Or anybody want to slap or anything like that?
No, I just want to say thank you guys so much for having me on here, and it was great talking to you, and I cannot wait to see you guys in a couple weeks.
And remember, everybody always, so don't get too worried because everybody there is always moving around at warp speed. Until the evening comes, everybody's like, "Oh, that was like a flash that went by," is what you see. But you'll have a little fun. Martin, what you going to be doing while you're there? You got anything you want to promo, plug, or anything before we get out of here?
My big writing news just came out yesterday, so you're practically the first place I got to share it.
Good.
I have a finalist in the Analog and Lab Awards for 2024. Uncle Roy's Computer Repairs and Used Robot Parts. So go to the Analog website. It's available. Most of the finalists are available free to read there.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go check it out. It's one of the reasons we have this show is to let y'all know where to go buy books or read books or see books. A lot of people give a lot of stuff away for free. Darci, Eric, who wants to go first? Darci, you want to go first?
Yeah, we're just excited to go out for the event in a few weeks. It's really fun to meet up with all of these new writers and illustrators and get to know them.
Yeah, and I just want to encourage everybody out there to enter the contest because there's really not a better place to submit your stuff if you're a new writer.
Yeah, and the quarter is over March 31st. So Monday night, the quarter is over. So get your stories or your arts submitted. It's free to enter, open to anybody that's amateur. So you can find, if you're not sure if you are or not, you can go to the www.resides.com, enter writer contest or enter illustrator contest. And the rules are there, which defines what establishes is an amateur. And you can just upload your art or your story and enter the contest. Up to 17,000 words of speculative fiction and fantasy or science fiction art. And you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Just listening to what Martin, Eric, and Darci have been saying. And then HeatherAnne, what she's going to be coming to see shortly.
Denise, no AI allowed, period. Sorry. It's oh no, that's not just not even the reason I asked her because I already know the answer to that. It's a no. Yeah, it's no AI allowed.
It's for artists and for writers, not for people that can figure out how to do prompts. It's not a prompt contest. It's an actual creative. So we're interested in validating creatives, not people that want to do shortcuts. We're not into shortcuts.
Let's not cheat. Just do it right. But anyway, guys, we got to go. I got to be on another show in a half an hour till midnight. So I got a long evening yet. I want to thank all the guests for stopping by and seeing us. I can't wait to see all of y'all. I love meeting new people. And for the people I've already met, I can't wait to see y'all either. I'll be giving Martin a hard time when I get there, so that'll be fun. Anything y'all need while I'm there, just ask them. I'm there to help. I'm there doing press, but I'll help anybody while I'm there. So just let me know because Sarah said she will hurt me if I don't help everybody. So we might as well just put that out there. And y'all get to meet all the rest of the people over there. They have a fabulous group of people that work at Authors together. I mean, they're just a great group of people over there. You'll enjoy being around them all. They're really nice people.
The event is broadcast when you go to our page, risingfuture.com. It'll be broadcast live. So at 7:00 Pacific time, it starts. So you can watch it on April 10th.
That's right.
Live as it's happening. So you'll be able to see the whole thing.
So we're going to be broadcasting it live on, I think, 10 venues this time. Plus, it goes out to 200 audio venues. But if you want to watch it, it's going to go out to 10 live venues. It will be on Roku television. So if you have a Roku TV, you can watch it on there, or a Roku on your thing. If you have Amazon Fire Stick, you'll actually be able to watch it there. Of course, we'll be on YouTube and Rumble. So if you want to watch it there, you can as well. Jimmy, Rumble is a TV thing. If you've got Roku or any of the other ones, they're actually on there, so you can watch them on video as well. And then, of course, if you got Facebook, you can watch us on Facebook if you watch us there. But it'll be all those venues plus the ones that John and them are broadcasting on. So you shouldn't have any problem finding it. I know it goes out to a large audience. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's always a great event. I've seen it a lot of times now. And if you want to get an idea, you can go watch them. The old ones are still available on both their website and ours. So if you go to writersfuture.com on YouTube, or you can go to any one of our YouTube pages and hunt around and find it. But I know we got to get out of here, so I want to thank everyone for joining the Author's Quill and United Public Radio. I hope everyone has a great evening, or great morning, or great afternoon, wherever you are on our big, blue, beautiful planet. Until later, have a good evening. Good night, everybody.
Night all.